Oh man, it's time to answer some boxing questions. I haven't done it in a while. The mail was compiled, but thank God a lot of them were the same doggone questions over and over again. So let's try to go through them and do this as quickly as possible. Oh yeah, this one question. It was on the top of the list, and basically just insults me. Then then it goes into a basic question in there. It's just like I'm taking from what you're saying is that I follow Floyd Mayweather. So that's that. That's what I got out of it. Whatever Floyd says, I come behind Floyd and say the same thing. Okay, so that's what I got out of this little passage. And let me clarify that. I don't wait on Floyd Mayweather to say anything before I say something. And if you don't know, you can go check my timelines. If you're actually doing that. I said I make my statements basically before he even makes his. Then he comes right behind me and say the same exact things I'm saying. So that lets you know that whatever I'm saying, I didn't have to talk to Floyd to know it was basic common sense. 9 times out of 10, that's basically what it is. It's just common sense. Now I know you've seen other website owners. They seem to wait till Floyd say something, then go right behind and say exactly what Floyd just said and just piggyback off that. And then claim it as their own statement when they really have no position. Their position is whatever Floyd Mayweather decides he wants to be doing or feeling at that time. I'm not that guy. Now, move on to question number 2. Canelo Alvarez. Will Floyd duck? How could he be ducking Canelo Alvarez? Canelo fights at a different weight class. He's not his mandatory. I mean, how could Floyd be ducking him? You see, this is what you see what I'm talking about when I say people get out of line. This guy has yet to fight a guy at his weight class. One guy who's basically at this weight class. Not even Kermit Cintron he fought he basically spent his career at 147. This is the first fight with Austin Trout that he's fighting somebody at his weight class. So how is Floyd Mayweather avoiding him? How can you believe that everybody came to see Floyd fight because of Canelo Alvarez? From your statement I'm seeing here. It's retarded. If Canelo Alvarez wasn't on the card, people were there to see the main event. I don't remember anybody talking about Canelo Alvarez when Floyd was going to fight Victor Ortiz. I don't remember anybody talking about Canelo Alvarez when Floyd was fighting Mosley. I don't remember anybody talking about Canelo Alvarez when Floyd fought Miguel Cotto. They talked about who Floyd was fighting. And that was the truth. Anything else, I don't know where you get that from. Really. So we're just going to move on from there. Who would I think would win between Andre Ward and Floyd Mayweather? Oh, Jesus Christ. These are two people separated by like 3 weight classes. No way. I don't even want to see that fight. It's a total mismatch on both ends. And it should never, ever, ever be even discussed. It's a joke to even try to think about it. I don't want to deal with that. Sergio Martinez is the middleweight champion of the world. And then okay, here it is again. Another duck situation you guys are talking about. Please stop abusing the word duck. Gennady Golovkin just got on the scene. Okay, Martinez got more knockouts than this guy got fights. And you talking about Martinez is ducking him. Who has Gennady Golovkin beat? He's been on HBO twice. He fought two guys. Okay, both guys were smaller than him. We got a problem. Okay, Sergio Martinez is going to fight the best available options for him. And the best available option for Sergio Martinez is not Gennady Golovkin. Either he's going to fight Chavez Jr. or he's going to fight somebody else. If they say HBO is going to put the money up to make the risk, he's not going to let him fight a guy that's almost 3 times the size of Martinez. Lou DiBella makes that fight, he's crazy. He's going to put Sergio Martinez in a situation to make the most money for him. Because they've been fighting for short money for the longest period of time. Martinez only got about 3 fights left in him. So they're going to maximize as much big fights as they can. After this Martin Murray fight, you're going to see him fight a rematch with Chavez Jr. Then he might fight one more fight after that. Then Martinez is going to retire. People don't realize he's at the point in his career where his body's failing him. He's getting a lot of injuries. He's up in age. It's time for him to leave the game in the sport of boxing. You know, it's just now that he's finally getting noticed because of what he did to Chavez Jr. and all the other stuff you saw on HBO. That this guy didn't get on pay-per-view earlier. So, let's move on to the question. Okay, Nonito Donaire. How do I see the Rigondeaux fight playing out? And dude, Nonito Donaire will not lose. Period. Not to Rigondeaux, not to anybody that I can see in the immediate future. Maybe if he goes up in weight and he face a guy that can give him some problems with power. So, besides that, I don't know who else could even challenge him, because not only does he have size, he has great timing and speed. And that's why I think people don't understand. They know he's throwing the punch, but they think they have time to block it and with their reflexes. But his speed is so incredible, it's hard to time him. So that's where people make a lot of mistakes when it comes to him. So I also think that Rigondeaux, I don't know. As a pro, he might have run into a lot of problems with guys who are counterpunchers and slick boxers. So I think that that about sums that up. Let's go to the next question. David Wallace put Ben Thompson in his place. Okay, well that's not really a question. Ben Thompson did get put in this place by Vivek Wallace. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, it's just a personality thing with Ben Thompson, you know. It's not about his work. It's about the person. He's not a person that basically is trustworthy as far as like a friend or anything. He always feels he's above you. And people get tired of that, demeanor. No one has better information than Ben Thompson. It's just that type of attitude and the way he treats people it's just not gonna go over with anybody. He's always gonna have people that are so-called friends and that he look at as friends. It's people that come and they're gonna go because they're gonna see him for what he really is, and people don't have time for that. They got families, they got lives. They just don't have time for nonsense. People just really want to just do their job and be respected for it and talk about the sport of boxing. People don't want to be degraded because you feel that you're greater than them. He's one of those guys who don't listen. He just wait for his turn to speak. That's it. Or he creates that. He'll cut you off. But that's enough about him. Next question. Who would win between Tim Bradley and Floyd Mayweather? Tim Bradley and Floyd Mayweather, I would say Floyd would stop him in the later rounds. After the fight he just had last night, nobody would argue with me. But that's the prediction I had before that fight last night. And it's the same prediction I got now. Somebody might say it might happen earlier now. So, I don't know. But I still think Tim make a lot of mistakes in the ring by him not being a person who boxed a lot in his career. He makes a lot of boxing flaws. He parallels his feet. He just throws a lot of arm punches where he really would be knocking guys out if he put his whole body behind the shot. So it kind of makes me like, what kind of training they're doing over there? If the man can't even throw a punch correctly, like who's padding you? I think they would correct that. But anyway, moving right along to the next questions. Leo Santa Cruz, Abner Mares avoided him. No, Golden Boy avoided him. Golden Boy is afraid to put them two in the ring. I'm going to tell you that right now. Golden Boy Promotions do not want to put Abner Mares in the ring with Leo Santa Cruz. And my phone is ringing off the hook. But, for some reason they don't want to make that fight. I think it's probably because of the reason that Leo Santa Cruz is a beast. And I think he could go up a weight class. But at the weight class he's at, he's a monster. And fighting him is going to be a problem and a half. And that's a hell of a fight. It's a mega fight, but I don't know if Mares can take that. So, let's go to the next question. Don't want to do that. Why I didn't give any credit to Bernard Hopkins over Trout? You just basically like Cloud. I said Trout. I always get them two confused. I don't know why. But Tavares Cloud, I mean, yeah, if you look at it, yeah, okay. You could say I didn't give Bernard a lot of credit. He's 48 years old. Okay, I got your point. I gave him credit, at least I thought. I gave him tremendous credit for being savvy, but I know a couple of guys that's in the gym that's in their 40s in the gym that could probably beat a lot of these 20-year-olds that are boxing. And the reason why is because the guys that's in their 20s have a lack of boxing experience. From someone who's a teacher of the game of boxing, who actually learned the sport of boxing. Not from an athletic director or somebody who was a gym teacher who decided to teach boxing because it was a higher paycheck. And they paid their $30 fee and became a boxing trainer. You know, it's a little bit different than that. And Bernard Hopkins has definitely been a student of the game. Until now, he's a steward of the game. He knows the game. You know, do better. How many Travares Cloud big fights has he really been in? But the style that Cloud fought put him at risk to lose. And his inexperience showed. And Bernard took advantages of all of his inexperience. Not knowing how to cut off the ring or when to cut off the ring, making Bernard work. He didn't know how to take advantage of the fact that Bernard was 48. And if you don't do that, then you're putting yourself in a situation where anything goes, it's any man's fight, and you can't control the pace and and dictate the whole fight and, you know, the way it's playing out, then that's, I don't know, that's just inexperience. But there's a level you get to when you learn how to control and take advantage of the situations that are presented in the ring. Like if you made these mistakes against Floyd Mayweather, he capitalized on all the mistakes that you make and exploit them. It's like most of these young fighters now, they have a fight where it's basically they could have an easy night, but it's always a knockout, drag-out type of fight. Even when they win, it's still knockout, drag-out when the fight should have been easy because they don't know how to control the pace of a fight. That's something that you learn through experience of going through fights. You learn how to make an easy night for yourself. Let me see, what else question I have? This video is going on and on. I just want to get all these out. That's just a hater. He's talking about what Floyd's going to do without Joe Cortez. Now that he's retired, he's going to come out of retirement to ref the Floyd fight. It's crazy. Alright, we'll go to the next one. It's nuts. Devin Alexander, Kell Brook prediction. I thought I've done this 1,000 times. I think Kell Brook stops him late. Devin keeps turning himself in circles and turning and turning and turning, and I just don't think he can take Kell Brook's power. And I think that's going to make the difference in the fight. What else we got? See if I can squeeze another one in here before I cut this video short. Well, cut it because it's too long. Three fighters. Okay, this guy said name me 3 fighters right now that are bigger than Canelo Alvarez for Floyd Mayweather to fight. If he fights the biggest fights on pay-per-view, why, if he got the biggest fights, name 3 fights that are bigger than the Canelo fight. 3 fights that's bigger? It's hard to say. What do you mean by bigger? Like, will it do bigger pay-per-view numbers? I think I'll say about the same numbers. I'll put it that way. If he fought Sergio Martinez, I'll say that would be bigger or the same. If he fought Juan Manuel Marquez, I'll say it'd be bigger or the same. If he fought, I wouldn't say Devin Alexander or Tim Bradley. Let me see. Those 2 fights there. two. Well, that's two off the top of my head. But if he fought Manny Pacquiao, even today, bigger or the same. So I don't see Canelo raising the value or the bar that far up. I really don't. You gotta understand, there are people in America who don't even know who Canelo Alvarez is. He's big in Mexico. But unless they're all coming from Mexico to come to the United States to go watch the fight, Canelo is not a huge draw yet. He's on his way, but he's not there yet. But he needs to start establishing events on his own.